This is the Three Skeevers podcast.
All right, episode 35 of the Three Skeevers podcast with Grim from Grimsforge Gaming and myself, Icy, with Icyfire Gaming. How you doing, Grim?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. We got our buddy back again today, SinnfullDuck. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Good. Thanks for having me again.
Awesome. Yeah, always a pleasure. So, companions. I know they're not PvP, but Sinful, I think you said you have not tried them out yet.
I have not, man. Since the update for Blackwood, I haven't really done really much of anything PvE related. I've just been going hard on the PvP, trying to figure out the next build for my guy.
Yeah, for sure. Grim, have you tried the companions yet?
No, I haven't even picked mine up yet, but when I do, they'll hate me. So.
Oh my goodness.
And from what I hear, they die a lot, and so I'll have them doing crazy things. So, and I don't think I'll take the time to res them.
So it's funny that you say that because I do res Miri whenever she does wind up dying, but I will say I am having a lot of fun running around with her because I put myself on my horse and I kind of just act like Napoleon, and I can command her to go fight things for me while I'm on my horse. I don't even have to get off, which is the cool part. And then meanwhile, I can go loot resource nodes and everything while she's taking care of the trash mobs for me, and I don't got to worry about nothing. And she can solo most of everything in terms of just regular mobs. And if say she was if she was going to go against like a high level mob, like something over 100k, then the minimum I would do is pop a blood altar for her, so she's got the minor health steal, and then she's good to go. But I think it really depends on what kind of playstyle you have her on. So right now I was leveling everything, all of the weapon styles, and she's on two-hander right now. And the one thing I noticed that is unfortunate is when she does a dodge roll, she always dodge rolls backwards. So she can dodge roll herself into a corner, and if she's fighting a Wamasu or something that's doing that breath attack, she's gonna dodge roll into a wall and still take all of the damage anyway. So it's small things like that that kind of frustrate myself a little bit because there's nothing I can do. And of course I could help her, but I want her to solo it. I don't want to do nothing. So, and I think because I did try the healing component, I did try tanking, and she's almost max right now. So once I can unlock all those skills and everything, I'm sure it'll be a lot easier. But yeah, right now I just have her as DPS, and that's working okay for right now. But I haven't tried doing any super like vet content, but for running or duoing, I guess, dungeons, normal dungeons, I think doing range DPS for her, for the companion, I think that seems like the better option, whether it be with the Destro staff or a bow. I think that's the play there. So yeah, no, Graham, when you do, it'll be exciting, and we could run together.
Is there guides out that tell you how to optimize your companion's DPS or builds for companions?
Probably, but I haven't watched any. I think the only companion video I've seen is, I want to say, maybe like one or two of Deltia's that he did in the beginning before it came out, and then I think maybe Hack the Minotaur on like where to get companion gear. Because oh man, I think that's the most frustrating part. Is it's such a rare drop, especially if you're trying to get purple gear. I think it's been 2 weeks, and I've only gotten 2 purple drops. And right now on the guild traders, all the purple gear is going for almost always over 1 million. And if you want purple jewelry, 2 million easy. And of course you want, depending on what trait you even want, good luck. But as long as you got the gold, you got the money, then it's not really a big deal. Like even right now, like Miri, I got her all quickened gear, all medium armor. I have half light and half heavy in my inventory, just kind of sitting there. Everything's quickened because I just want max cooldown reduction, and she's doing all right. So it's pretty cool. Oh, go ahead.
Do you think that companion gear crafting is a thing that's in the future?
It would make this whole debacle of trying to get companion gear a lot easier. Absolutely. I think if they made it so that we had to research the traits and everything, so it'd be another 3-month process to learn the new traits for your companions, I think that would be better. But then they'd have to, retool the whole system or something like that to make it work. Because right now, any boss can drop any piece of gear with any trait on it, and I kind of wish it was similar to how we farm for normal overland gear, where if you want weapons, you would kill world bosses or public dungeon bosses. If you want jewelry, you do dolmens. If you want this, you do that. I think it would be cooler if it was structured around that way. But right now, you can get it from any boss in the game that you kill, which I guess
Yep.
is okay. So, because when you look at guild traders, you'll see like over 100 pages of companion gear across the board.
You have to start the quest to start getting companion gear drops, don't you? Because I don't think I've gotten a single companion gear drop. Or is it that rare?
Yeah, no, so you can only get companion gear when you have your companion out.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So you have to kill the boss with your companion, and then you have a chance of getting a loot drop for him.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I would just purchase your companion gear with guild traders. That's probably the best bet, or the easiest way to get everything you want.
Are you
So-
able to take the companions into places like Vadishran?
Unfortunately, no. You can do everything else. You can like you can do Skyreach, you can do normal dungeons, vet dungeons, trials, regular overland content, that type of thing. But the arenas, you could do Dragonstar Arena, but you can't do Maelstrom, you can't do Vadistran, and of
Yeah,
course
so
no
there's no
PvP.
solo stuff.
Yeah, nothing pure solo content. Yeah, but otherwise it's pretty good. I think if you're and when to for Miri, you go to the north end of Blackwood, the northwest end, and the quest takes about, if you're going to take your time and read through all the dialogue and everything, probably 30 minutes. But I just did it yesterday, just running through everything. Took me 10 minutes tops to get it, so not too bad.
Mm.
But yeah, no, I am all for companions. They're fun. I'll give a 9 out of 10. And, oh, this is my favorite part. So because she's on the two-hand, you know how when you sheathe your two-hand, you just kind of put it back on, you put it on the back of your back, I guess, right? So sometimes she'll spin it around and throw it back there, and I thought that was kind of cool. So
Cool
yeah,
animation.
yeah, it was really cool animation. And then like because I was talking to her once by accident, and she was like spinning around, she's like, "What's up, Sarah?" Oh man, the small things that make all the bugs worth it. um Enough about me and my companion journey for the last 2 weeks. What do you got, Grim?
So Sinful, could you give us, you did a video with the Governator. Could you kind of give us a rundown on what that video was and what your plan is with that series?
Yes, of course. Let me tell you a little bit about this here, okay? So, the Governor series, basically my good buddy, my pal, SinnfullDuck, he lets me sit down at his computer and play his characters, and we go out and we own plebs, and we hit them really hard, and it's a lot of fun, and we talk a little bit of trash. And this kind of the basic gist of the videos. It's wonderful, it's just for fun.
And then the part when you're like, die, love puppy, die.
I love Poppy. Yeah, he ended up in that video a lot.
Yeah. You guys talk now, you and Love Puppy, or?
No, we don't. He probably hasn't even seen that video. He probably has no idea.
Yeah. So you got another one in the works, you think, or got?
I do. I've got a couple of them. I'm trying to put Arnold into like some different situations and see, we'll see how he handles it. Because like when I record those, it's all I record all the voice stuff like live while I'm playing, so it's just kind of, I don't know, like whatever I'm feeling in the moment is what spews out of his mouth, kind of thing.
Yeah, I'll never forget.
And yeah, so I've got a couple ideas of different situations I want to put him in for those videos, but like I said earlier, for right now, I'm trying to kind of dial in builds at the moment so that when I do go out and record that, I don't have to think about, I got to make sure I press this to keep this build going or do that. Like I want the build to kind of be second nature to me at that point, so that I can focus more on what I'm doing for the video. If that makes any sense.
Right. Yeah. And it's kind of weird stage right now, fact finding, or meta finding period. So
Yeah, and I'm going back and forth with builds because I really want to do a light armor build, and I'll be honest, I'm struggling with it a little bit because I play a lot of solo, and when you're going out solo against all these stam guys, light armor is real tough.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're already operating at a resistance deficit, let alone the negatives to wearing light armor. You're going to take more martial damage. So there that is.
Yeah, you're getting like minor vulnerability just for physical damage unique to yourself.
Yeah. So I've got some stuff figured out here that is going pretty well for me at the moment. So hopefully the Governor video is coming up soon.
Okay, good.
And I
Oh,
was
go
gonna
ahead.
say, is the light armor build, is that for your warden, or are you trying to bring the mag blade back?
The mag blade, I actually have a good light armor setup working on him. I don't play it a lot because I mean I don't know if either of you play much Nightblade at the moment, but cloak still doesn't work.
Mhm.
And even when it does work, there's 1,000 ways that people can pull you out of it. So it's the Nightblade hits really hard, but his main survival is cloak, and it just doesn't cut it at the moment. So pretty much everything I'm doing it right now is just on the warden.
Yeah. And so what you're talking about specifically for those that don't know or haven't noticed it yet, or just, whatever, um, you'll hit shadowy disguise and just immediately be brought right back out of stealth. And or people can still gap close to you. You could hit shadowy disguise, actually have the hidden icon, and if they just spam a gap closer in your general direction, they'll gap close to you and pull you out. So I experienced that the last 2 days doing battlegrounds.
Yeah, man, and you got excuse me, you got so many guys running around with like two-handers,
Mhm.
and all they got to do is just wind up a heavy attack in your general direction, and it's gonna get you.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully that's something they get around to. So I don't know. There's a lot of pluses going for the class, though. I mean, it hits so hard from stealth, so there's like virtually no counterplay if a Nightblade
Yeah,
jump on you.
yeah. The light armor build I've got on him now is, I mean, it's nothing crazy. It's probably not even very unique, but uh, man, does it hit hard. It's silly how hard that thing hits.
Yeah. So Mid-Year Mayhem's here. Have you had some adventures yet?
Oh yeah, I've been out. I went out yesterday morning for a while, and then in the afternoon when I got back from work, I logged in for a few more hours, and it's so nice seeing people in Imperial City again.
Yeah.
I was kind of expecting a little bit more traffic with the introduction of the monster sets here, but that didn't really pan out the way I was hoping it would. So Mid-Year Mayhem it's good, man. It's good. I'm surprised because like you get the big Zergs up in the districts who are just farming for Telvar or the monster sets or whatever. But the sewers have actually been pretty populated the last couple days with mid-year as well.
Really? Because at least whenever I've been down there the last 2 days, it's been damn near nothing. And I
Oh
was thinking,
man.
well, maybe it's just, bad luck, but I'll maybe come across one or two guys, and then that's about it. But then, of course, once you go up top to the districts, freaking party central.
Yeah, I mean, well, like I said, I play a lot of solo, so I try not to spend too much time in the districts because as a solo guy, you run into, the 10, 15 man Zerg, and there's not a whole lot you can do with it. So I tend to stay in the sewers anyway, but yeah, yesterday I was out with Crocs, and we played for probably, I don't know, 45 minutes or so, and ended up with like, I think a little over 30 kills,
Nice.
all down in the sewers.
Nice.
Okay. We put a group together. We'll have to run tonight or whenever, but we put a group together yesterday, and it was Dr. Gankenstein and Sawman UK, Papa Minburn, Rotten Treats, and then I saw that you logged in a little later. Icy joined us, and we ran around the district. We ran through the sewers, killed whoever we found, then ran the districts and had a lot of really good fights. I think, do you remember, Icy, before we went to Cyrodiil, what was it, like 120 kills, something like that?
It was a lot because when I joined up,
Woo.
it was. I mean, I don't know how crazy it was when you guys were there, but yeah, there was a lot of people going on, and yeah, I kind of wish I was there a little bit earlier, but
Yeah. Boy, I tell you, it's really nice running with some elite level guys that can secure kills, right? It feels really different running with a group like that. You don't always get to run with a group like that, but each one of those guys is a specialist, and we would run into some Zergs and just run right through them. So
yeah, I
lots of
thought it
fun.
was pretty funny. There was one moment where I saw probably 15 DC or something like that. Oh no, not 15. Maybe, I think it was 15 EP. And then I turn around for about like 5 seconds, and then I just hear, "Okay, they're gone." And then I turn back, and it's just Sawman in the middle of like a bunch of bodies on the floor. I'm like, "Oh God, here we go."
Yeah, it reminds me of Wade Wilson or whatever. Deadpool. Well, it was
The first movie or the second one?
yeah, the first time Ryan Reynolds played, and they're in the elevator with Wolverine and whatever. It wasn't Deadpool. It was
Oh, I think it was Wolverine. I think that's what the movie was called.
Wolverine. Yeah, and so they're like, "You're up, Wade," and Wade goes in and kills everybody. He goes, "Okay, they're all dead." Uh,
Yeah, that's a good scene.
yeah, yeah.
So I was gonna ask you guys a question here though, because I noticed you in that group last night, and you have like, all these content creators in there, and most content creators are a little more like solo or like duo type guys, so they're not used to playing in like big groups, so they kind of all have their own style going on of how they do things. So when you get that many of them in a big group going around, do you find like people are trying to like run off different directions and do their own thing? Is it hard to keep them together, or does it kind of gel pretty well?
We had a little bit of that, but so if you haven't seen on the community boards, most of the content creators, Sinful's on there, and we have a lot of different people on there. But ESO Expendables, we did a poster for it for people that confirmed that they were going to be running together in a group, during Mid-Year Mayhem. And so I kind of view it as that scenario. Like you've got the Arnold, you've got you've got all these different action stars, right? And they're all very capable on their own. So as long as they're at least marching in the same direction, and then if they go off to, do whatever they're gonna do for their, exploding cutscene or whatever, and then come back, I think it works out really well. It was a lot of fun. And then we went to Cyrodiil and we went to Cropsford, and we're just
Oh, that's like one of the few places in Cyrodiil I enjoy, is going to those little towns and just holding them down.
Yeah, it's just like a steady stream of people, especially right now because the quest giver's there for the dailies. And so
Ooh.
how many people did we run into, Icy, or did you leave? I forgot how long you stayed.
Oh yeah, I know we were hiding in we entered one of those small little houses, and just waiting for people to come in. So I did a sit chair, but then I was actually falling asleep in my sit chair. So then I logged out like about like 15 minutes after that. But I think at least when I was there, probably like 20, 30 people, over like a short amount of time like came in. Yeah. So.
Yeah. At one
And then
point,
at one point we were just like fisting everybody, which was pretty funny.
yeah, fisticuffs. We were boxing. Don't,
I'll say that sounded dirty with the way Icy said it.
Oh, I was just gonna leave it open ended for interpretation.
yeah, so we were inside this house, And Sawman, not to give you too many of the secrets from the secret sauce, but Sawman like setting up an oil right inside the door when you walk in, because the first thing people want to do is start burning the oil, and then that gives you the jump on them. And so he sets it up an oil right inside the door, and of course every person that come in, the very first thing they do is start burning the oil. and, and so then it was like, oh, all our ults are ready, so we just would ult dump. And so then it was like getting too easy. We had killed probably 15, 20 people at this point, 30 people. And so we were all agreed, hey, let's just unequip our weapons and just box, light and heavy attack people as they come into the room. This is like Fight Club,
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, so that didn't go so well. Like 6 people came in, and we didn't get the onesies or twosies. Like 6 people came in with ults ready, and they wiped us, and we had to go back out. But that's what we get. So yeah,
Man,
lots
well,
of
if you
fun.
guys are doing a group tonight, man, let me know.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm gonna, as soon as we're done here, I'm gonna go join Dan from Unified Gaming just for a couple battlegrounds, and then I'll be ready to go tonight for our group sessions here.
Nice.
Yeah, but yesterday was fun. Performance out in Cyrodiil is, I don't know what was going on, but it was flawless almost. It didn't seem bad at all. But Imperial City, obviously, with all the traffic and stuff, there's a lot of problems, and you can see that with a lot of the content creators talking about it right now. So
Yeah, I ran into a couple fights yesterday that I died when I definitely shouldn't have because I couldn't get out of CC.
right.
One of one of them, I wish I was recording it, but somebody hit me with like the flame staff knockback,
Hmm.
and my character got stuck in midair, just floating. I couldn't CC break. I couldn't get out of it. I was just stuck there floating in midair, and the guy just like light attacked me to death.
Laughing, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, he's like, look at you. You're like a balloon.
Yeah. And like I would try and do like slash stuck to try and get out of it, but he would just keep me in combat and just keep light attacking.
Did you record that by chance? Because that would make for a funny video.
No, I wish, man. I've been really bad lately about recording. I'll jump in and I'll start playing, and then something really cool will happen. I'll hit the hotkey to record, and I'll be like, oh, it's not open.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. Well, we'll definitely have to run tonight, and then so a lot of people, I guess, what they're doing is they're doing their daily quests for Mid-Year Mayhem. Like there's one particular district that if you go to where you burn the siege weapons there, you could be
Mhm.
done in 3 minutes with your daily, and they're getting their tickets like that.
Oh,
Yeah, and then the rest of the time they are just queuing for battlegrounds and stuff like that. So, have you guys been doing battlegrounds?
I
I
have
haven't.
not.
Yeah, but I want to. Yeah, that's definitely something I'm gonna start doing a lot this week.
Yeah, man, I'd love to do battlegrounds. I
Yeah,
enjoy battlegrounds most of the time.
Yeah, and I know I've never really been a big proponent of battlegrounds, but the last like month, 2, 3 months, I've been having a blast playing battlegrounds. So,
I
yeah,
feel like
espe-
it gives you the opportunity to play builds and styles that you can't really play in other places.
yep,
So it's a lot of fun to just go in there and have something kind of unique to that experience.
yeah. That's why I enjoy battlegrounds. I spend a lot of time there, as you could really try different things, especially right now. So battlegrounds traffic is very high, so you're getting, let's be honest, we're getting a higher volume of PvEers, exploring battlegrounds right now, right? To get the
Hmm.
rewards and stuff. And so right now you see a lot of really interesting things in battlegrounds.
how's the queue times right now?
I didn't really have a problem, but honestly, most of my queuing for battlegrounds has been over on the EU server right now, because I'm trying to grind CP over there and stuff. And when I queue for solo, like on the NA server, that was going to be one of the topics today. But when I queue on the NA server, if I queue for a solo battleground, I could be in queue for 30 minutes, 40 minutes for a solo battleground. But if I queue for a solo battleground over on the EU server, I'm in probably in 5 minutes. I think it's because the traffic is so much. If you go to and look at Cyrodiil, they're pop blocked on every server over there. Like they're a bunch of bloodthirsty people over in the EU.
Sounds
So
fun.
yeah, yeah. But Battlegrounds, let's do that too.
I'm in.
Yeah, no, I'm down. Oh,
You
and
bring the heels, Icy.
um, Grim. So to the PvEer comment about them doing their daily quests and stuff. So I'm in a bunch of Discord servers for ESO, and in one of them I saw one of my friends, she posted a ESO Mid-Year Mayhem guide, and I opened up the Word document, and it was purely for PvEers. Like, okay, guys, this is what you want to do to get your tickets for the day. Go to this place, drop down. Make sure you're crouched, kill these two things here, and then just kind of crouch, get over here, and just like it was purely for how to avoid PvPers. Okay, and just make it and get your tickets and be gone for the day. So I thought it was pretty interesting that she had a whole strategy to help people get their questing done because during Mid-Year Mayhem the train is running nonstop and it's gonna run over anybody and everybody. So
Yeah.
But I'm that guy that will read that and be like, oh, people are gonna crouch and go kill these two things. I'm gonna wait right there.
yeah, I felt guilty reading it, and then I also feel guilty talking about it right now. But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah. You're gonna be removed from that Discord when the traitor.
I'm not going to say which Discord server it is, and I'm not going to say her name because I don't want this to go back.
I think the person that has one of the best ideas, though, we were in Cyrodiil last night and we ran into a level 10, and I don't even think he had weapons. He's a level 10 character, so the second he can enter Cyrodiil, he was there. And whenever he'd see an enemy player, he'd just put his hands up in the air. What emote is that? Do you know? The like I surrender or I give up.
Oh, was that the Argonian that we ran into when we were cutting across the whole thing?
And Sawman's like, don't kill him, don't kill him, don't kill him. And so he's just standing there with his hands up like, please don't kill me. Well, every time we run into that same guy, he'd just stand there and put his hands up. And I'm pretty sure he didn't have weapons. I didn't see any weapons on him. And but if you're gonna go to Imperial City, of course I don't know how you're gonna kill mobs to complete some of these quests if you don't have weapons. So but it was pretty funny. Level 10 guy just running in. Every time he saw an enemy player, hands up in the air, and he just stands there. Like, please don't kill me.
Is that the guy who we ran into and then he suicided to get killed by the slaughterfish?
Yeah, because
Okay.
Rotten was like, murder. And he started like bashing the level 10 to death. And the level 10
Oh, okay.
jumped off the ledge into the water. Yeah. So, and then I was like laughing and I said we should siege him while he's getting ate by the slaughterfish. Okay, but so Battlegrounds, I think so a lot of people will be experiencing this right now, like there's tiers or levels to it, right? There's tiers or levels to a lot of things in life, but for the battlegrounds, like when you first start doing battlegrounds on the low level battlegrounds, if you queue solo, you have the most likelihood to not run. You're not going to run into pre-mates for the most part. Now you'll run into people that know how to PvP and they group together really well, or they just stick together, and so there is that. But if you want the best possible experience for battlegrounds, you should be solo queuing. Now if you're going to group queue just because you want to do it with friends, you're going up against other pre-mades potentially, and so there's that. And then when like Icy's playing around in the higher MMR right now in his battlegrounds, and basically there's really small window of error at the higher MMR because everyone does travel together. And if you're basically trying to be a solo player in the higher MMR and run off and do your own thing, you'll get steamrolled. And so it's interesting to see those different layers or levels to it right now.
Yeah, I kind of like the high MMR play, but at the same time, I'm kind of crossed with it because if I get smashed immediately, I almost think it's because of my build and stuff like that. But really, I'm getting banged down by 4 dudes. Nobody wants that, in the game or outside the game. But at the
Nobody.
same time, it just comes down to positioning and what your comp is and what the enemy team comp is. Because even if we're running 4-4, like four man squad, then like the skill level is just so much higher if we're going against an equally skilled group as well. And so everyone's using procs up the wazoo, and
Yeah.
that's its own thing. But even I was running with Imp just a few days before Midyear Mayhem, and we wound up in a somewhat sweaty BG, and we were just duoed, but the other team was 4-man, and they were you could tell they were coordinated, and we were, oh man, it was so funny. I think I did record it, but the at the end of the match, me and Imp and one other guy on our team that was kind of hanging with us too, we all had 0 deaths. The 4-man squad, they all had 0 deaths. Okay, and it was just like a constant back and forth of us line of sighting, kiting, and trying not to get ourselves killed. And then whenever Imp would go on the offensive on their enemy healer, then they would back off me, and then it was so back and forth for I think a solid 10 minutes, because of course then you have the third team that is just doing the whole objective. So then that's the only way the BG goes. But oh man, it's when you get into those high MMR, man, it's less about the objectives and just more about the fight. Because I've done a couple chaos balls where the score is just 40, 20 and 0, and we hit we do the whole 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Every round is deathmatch.
Yeah.
Yes, it really is. It really is.
Yeah.
That's the way to play.
Yeah. I was earlier today I was doing some battlegrounds on the EU server with Doctor Strange, my sorcerer Magsork. And every time I get hit with a proc like Venomous Smite or whatever, I go and find that person. I make it a point to, I'll tab target them, and I'm like, you want to come in here with procs and try and put procs on me? I make it like personal, So I don't know, but yeah, high MMR, man, for me, my time spent in the high MMR, it was just exhausting. I remember getting done with battlegrounds, I'm just like, holy crap, like that's, I mean, I
wish
guess it's exciting and fun at the start, but then it just ends up being exhausting.
I wish we actually had a way of knowing what our MMR is.
Yes. Yeah.
Because, like, there's lots of people who play battlegrounds that talk about playing at high MMR and all that, and like nobody really knows for sure, I guess. But I don't know if this was just a byproduct of low population or what, but I know for a while Zero and I were playing battlegrounds, and this was like when I first made my warden. And when my warden was like fresh into battlegrounds, you're kind of starting at the bottom. So we were playing against a bunch of different people all the time, having a lot of fun, getting a ton of kills. And then as time went on, we ended up at a point where we fought the exact same people every single time we went in a battleground for months.
Mm.
And we didn't know, like, is that because like they're the only people playing? Is that because we're at like the top of the MMR and there's nobody else to go up against? Like they won't put lower people in, or like I don't know. But I do wish that there was a way that we could actually know how they're matchmaking us.
Yeah. Not only that, but then I guess on your character sheet you should have some type of maybe a crown or a symbol that says, you're in the bronze league or Silver League or Gold League or Platinum League or whatever, it'll tell you your MMR rate.
Yeah, if ZOS is already doing all of this in the background, why not give us some kind of visual representation to show us where we're at? If nothing else, it would give people a reason to group up and just like get sweaty and go at it, try and win more battlegrounds so that you can rank up. Like WoW arenas do really well at that, where you get your MMR in there and everybody's pushing to get it higher and higher and higher, and that keeps people going for months or years even. And if they added something like that to Battlegrounds, I think that would be a cool way to get people to kind of dive back in and kind of give it a whole new feel.
Yeah. Do you introduce tier rewards?
What? I'm sorry, was that?
Do you introduce tier rewards
into the Battlegrounds?
Yeah. So if you're like in the bronze tier or the whatever,
yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about like the Cyrodiil tier rewards. I was like,
yeah, kind of, but for Battlegrounds.
Yeah. I would like that. And then I would also like to be able to earn the Cyrodiil campaign rewards for playing in Imperial City.
Yeah.
Since we're in a campaign. I think it's ridiculous that they took that away.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you go to like bronze or silver or whatever they want to make it for Battlegrounds. I think that'd be cool. Get a little something for earning that next step.
Yeah.
I wonder if with all the add-ons that we have, I'm sure someone could probably just reverse engineer and extrapolate that data out. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure they could, yeah.
So
I don't see why they wouldn't be able to. It just why should they have to?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like with all the access or for whatever amount of access that we have just with add-ons that we have access to, might be worth a look if someone who's really good at programming and all that type of stuff, seeing, hey, is there a way to access what your MMR is for your character?
And if so, so what they would do is they would just make an add-on, and anyone that's running that add-on is basically their stats are uploaded or put into a rankings that's kept within the add-on, and the add-on keeps track of your MMR and your rankings and everything else. If they're not going to do it in game, then can it be done through an add-on?
Yeah, I feel like it would be like that is it Gray Skull? The one that shows your weapon damage?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I know me and Papa, we were messing around with that add-on, and you can change that to, by going into the code and just changing the weapon damage to any other metrics that you want. So I would imagine it being something similar to that, where you just find out what your MMR is and then just have it posted on your screen there. So at least you'll know yours.
Yeah. Well, and if we learned anything about ZOS over the years, it's that if somebody does make that an add-on and people like it, they'll finally put it in the game.
Yeah, that's true.
Wait, within reason. Within reason.
I mean, it'll take a few years, but we'll get it. No, I think that would be a cool thing, though, if you could see that and earn some kind of reward. Like, they do like the Crown Crate seasons where, what are we on right now? Like the Flame Atronach or something like that.
Yeah.
If they did like Battleground seasons, and for reaching certain ranks, you could unlock different mounts or skins or something. I think that would be really cool.
That would be cool.
Kind of like how Smite does it, right, Grim? Because they do season passes and stuff. So each season you can try to reach this ranking, and you'll get unlocked. There's one for non ESO members, and then there's one for ESO plus members, and then you have two different tracks, and depending on how far you get within that season, you'll unlock all these extra things. Yeah, that'd be actually kind of cool if they did that. Give more incentive to play the game.
Do you think
like one of? Sorry, go ahead, Grim.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say one of the things that was really good about some of the older PvP MMOs that I've played is that you you could see people in the world who would have something that was totally unique. And like, I'll just go back to like WoW as an example. Back when they first released the arenas, you would see people running around with like these weapons or shoulders or something that no one else had. And they looked completely unique. And you knew that the only way to get that was to be like in the top tier of arena players.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing like that in ESO. The only thing that we have to show your PvP prowess is your title, which, I mean, let's face it, I don't want to offend anybody, but there's a lot of people who earn the max rank title for PvP by repairing doors.
Right.
So it really doesn't mean anything. So I think it would be really cool to have some kind of system where I could get some kind of special skin or a costume or something so that when I put this on, people look at me and they're like, "Ooh, man, that dude, I don't want to mess with him."
Right. That guy can actually PvP.
Right? I think it would be cool to add in, but I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, Zos, if anybody's listening, let's get on that.
It's funny that you say that because that's how before I found out the truth, that's how I always thought about what the former emperor title was. Like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, man, they must have done some crazy stuff, led some awesome battles and everything. And then once I learned how people actually get it, it's just
Yeah.
like, what? And
Mhm.
these guys are trash.
Yep.
Yep.
It's one
Doesn't
of
really
those
mean
things
nothing.
that, yeah, man, it's one of those things that when you see somebody who's like Grand Warlord or Grand Overlord and former Emperor, like I go out of my way to try and pick them out of a group to kill them first because you just want to prove something sometimes. That you're like, don't flash that title at me when you don't know how to PvP.
Right.
100%.
For the battlegrounds, do you think that they'll introduce a no proc server?
I don't know if they will. It would be interesting. I hope it's not as restrictive as the Cyrodiil no proc was because I stayed out of that quite a bit because there was no build diversity. Like everybody was running the same thing.
Yeah, because it's
So
so few armor sets. That's the
yeah.
biggest thing. So like Dots, Deltia, myself, everybody that went out there, they're like, this is some of the best PvP in a long time. That was week 1 and week 2, right? Week 3,
Mhm.
week 4, you start looking for different options of builds to run. And then by week 4 or 5, you realize this is it. There's only 12 different gear sets,
Yeah.
you know.
And I think if they went with a no proc thing, if they only disable sets that give you free damage, get rid of something like Savara's scales or something like that, where you perform an action and it puts damage on the target. If they only disable those types of sets, but leave in sets like Burning Spellweave that just buffs your spell damage or,
Daedric
whatever, something like
trickery.
that. Yeah, something that gives your character a buff rather than just damaging the enemy. I think what would end up happening is anything that wasn't those buff sets would just get tossed aside.
Mhm.
So it would be a very delicate balance they'd have to figure out for creating a no proc battleground because I think you kind of put yourself in the same kind of situation no matter what you do where build diversity is going to be pretty small. But then again, is it really any different than what we play now in Cyrodiil or Imperial City? Everyone kind of runs the same stuff anyway, so.
Yeah,
So,
especially as you start getting closer to the meta.
Mhm.
so Grim, when you asked that question about the no proc BGs, what was your intent behind it? Was it to help improve performance or more for more healthy gameplay?
I like healthy gameplay, that's one thing, but if not through just having servers for it, what if we should ask Sinful how he feels about introducing the custom battlegrounds option.
You mean to like set up your own Like server
Yeah.
rules or?
Yeah, so Icy and I had kind of been developing this kind of idea that maybe it's only available through your guilds, once they achieve whatever, or, it's not something that anyone, like, I can't just hit level 10 and just create my own battleground. Like you have to,
Yeah, being like a 25 plus guild,
right.
and then you'll have access to hosting a battleground somewhere. And
Yeah.
then you just have to invite people to your group or something like that.
There's a full range of positives that can come from it, like especially on the training side of it. I know that if I were able to set up a custom battleground, I could take the people that I've been training in PvP and we could actually put them into and create the scenarios, and recreate the scenarios and improve their play, in a non-hostile. I mean, even though it's still a battleground, but it's all, like, I don't view the gym where when people are sparring and they're grapple boxing and they're, doing combat sports, as long as the atmosphere is right and the coach has control of the room and everybody there respects each other's journey and respects each other, like, really good things can come of it in the gym industry. And I think that a custom battleground could be utilized that same way for guilds. Full guilds, PvE guilds, could actually practice PvP, practice battlegrounds. And I don't think that you offer the battlegrounds rewards and stuff like that. It's strictly for training purposes. But those are just some of the things that Icy and I talked about that you could do in a custom battleground. If you wanted to set up a Chaos Ball game and you wanted to put a 4-man group together and practice different Chaos Ball tactics, you could, or capturing, domination or whatever, you could actually set up whatever game scenarios. And then we were even talking about like some like things that aren't available right now, like maybe a mini raid boss, or it's basically there's one character that maybe has the Emperor buff and everyone else, you want to try and be the person that kills the Emperor, and the Emperor's fighting everybody, and so that might be one thing.
Oh, that would actually be kind of cool. So it'd be like a free for all 1v8 or something like that. And then one person will be the emperor, and then he'll just kind of be running around killing her. And it'll be two different win conditions, right? Like kind of like a chaos ball, but it's the emperor this time, and he's by himself, and he's gotta like try to get either hold the emperor buff as long as he can, or kill as many people, and vice versa or something like that. Yeah, and like say the person that, I mean, this is all on the fly, of course. We never
Yeah.
spoke about the emperor thing, but that actually sounds like an awesome idea.
Yeah.
So
And then do you remember, I don't remember which Halo it was, but they had like a custom map where you can make your own maps and make your own stages, or I forgot what they call it, but it'd be cool if they had something like that. Like, we can make our own homestead and stuff like that. We can, go in and hit F5 at our house and build walls and build crazy things. It would be cool to be able to design a custom battleground, the actual battleground itself, and objectives and things like that. Maybe you can make fun obstacle courses utilizing chaos balls or capture the flag type scenarios. And so,
dude, oh my goodness, I just had another idea. And of course, since we're this is all just theory crafting, we're going to totally disregard the hardware requirements on what ZOS would need to actually make this happen. So, dude, what if you don't forget the whole idea about making it you have to be in like a 25, 50 man guild, whatever, to host your thing. No, you just have to actually own a house, okay? And because you can edit your house with the housing editor and put things anywhere you want. Why don't you have the ability to also host a BG in a way at your home location? So just imagine just decking out the whole Citric Grand Villa and making that a whole battleground of whatever it is. I think
Yeah.
that would be actually kind of awesome. Or you're fighting in the
Yeah.
Gardner house. And you can go in through the doors, fight on the 3rd floor, the 1st floor, 2nd floor, whatever you want. Name any house. There's some big freaking houses out there. I'm trying to
So
think.
you just hit F5 and then you just click the little button that says free for all.
Yeah, that could be a thing.
Yeah, well, like
You know,
each house would, because they're all kind of designed a little differently. Each house would be better suited towards different styles of combat or different like game modes, if you will. And the only thing that they would really need to do would be to allow you to form a group and then initiate a duel against another group.
Yeah.
oh, actually, I think this would be a better option. So only the person who owns the house would be able to like start the match, and the way they would do it is you do a ready check that would hit anybody who's in your home location. Okay, so say what we'll have, because Zero's in the Discord as well. So Zero is solo and I'm solo, but you and Grim and Sinful, you guys are in a group together. So then, since it's my house, I'll just hit the ready check button. It'll prompt everybody who's in the house. So the 4 of us, say, hey, we're about to get a fight going on. Do you accept? And then it'll only actually go when everyone accepts and hit yes. And then once we all agree, the battle starts. Zero is by himself, I'm by myself, and you guys are in a group. So now we have a 1v1v2 situation. And
Yeah.
then that way we can actually get whatever sort of matchup we want. If we want to do a 1v10, you can make it happen. You name any number that you want. You could have like a 3v5, 3v6v1, and that can happen. I think that would be
Yeah.
actually kind of cool.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah. So, I guess moving on from the battlegrounds, we're still kind of in this meta finding stage. Some things I've noticed that I thought were interesting is I feel like it's not I feel like I know for sure that the meta is different. Dan from Unified Gaming will tell you this too, but the meta is different on the NA server as opposed to the EU server. And then you have to assume that the meta, like if you talk to Illinois Valley or Kirkhoff, they'll tell you that the meta is different on console than obviously PC. So I think that's very interesting, and the content creators need to take that into consideration when they're doing builds and stuff.
I think that's a kind of a cool thing. It just kind of goes to show you, especially the fact that there's differences between NA and EU on PC.
Mhm.
It's the exact same game, same items, but it just shows you that like there's not only one way to play the game.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people look at it and say, if you want to compete in PvP, you have to use, what a X set. But then on EU, nobody uses that set. They all do something different. So I don't know. So I think that's cool that it shows you that just because like people get it in their brain that like this is what you got to do, there's always something different.
Yeah, it's interesting. So we're in a damage meta over here, and then over there they're in a tank meta. But I think they're in a tank meta over there because they're tired of getting bombarded with Papa's Dawnbreakers. That he'll drop a Dawnbreaker over here on the NA server, and it just disappears into space and time, and somebody
I
over
was,
there on.
dude, I was waiting to see where you were going with this. I was like, where are you going? And then I thought you were gonna make the 20-year joke, but no, the space time one, yeah.
Yeah, everybody's just tired of getting blasted by random Dawnbreakers that they don't know where they're coming from, and that they're actually coming from the NA server. So, hey, that reminds me, I just watched I rewatched a video by Dr. Gankenstein, and did you see this video that he did maybe a week ago? He's out in Cyrodiil, and there's a guy in his screen, like a friendly, and they're just outside a keep, and the dude just gets murked by there's nobody around, right? Nobody around. And Papa's like, Doctor's like, what what the hell? And then the guy starts attacking him, and so he's like dodge rolling randomly. He doesn't see anybody, and he's like healing. He's like, what's going on? I'm fighting a being from a transdimensional being, you know? And then some random Templar gap closes from outside the keep, like flies on a witch broom. He adds that sound too, so it's hilarious. The Wicked Witch sound flies from their witch broom from outside the keep all the way to him and just kills him, and then just runs off. Have you guys seen that video?
I have not.
You
Yeah,
need to go see it. It's the funniest thing ever.
yeah, no, I remember seeing it. Yeah, that was actually pretty crazy.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the current state of PvP right now. But it's so funny. Yeah, you absolutely have to go see that video, Dr. Gankenstein, and I don't remember the title of the video, but super funny.
Do you think do you think content creators, when they're making their build videos, they should put like a disclaimer that says build video or SinnfullDuck Mag Warden update PCNA, so people know that, hey, this is a PCNA build and this build probably won't work in the EU, for example?
Maybe, but you actually brought up Dan from Unified Gaming earlier, and he's actually somebody that I've wanted to be able to play with at some point, because over the years I've watched him since he was pretty new on YouTube, and I've noticed that over the years he and I seem to make very similar builds. So, he plays in EU, I play on NA, but even though the metas are different, we both kind of fit somewhere in the middle to where our builds are always pretty similar. So I think, depending on what you're looking at, I think the build can work no matter where you're playing.
Yeah, I just did I did an update to my Witcher build, and I think it's probably after you summon a Blast Bones, it might be in the 9K. This is a bow necromancer, by the way, so it's hard to come by pin on a bow build, that particular build. But anyways, I think just with a Blast Bone summoned and no other buffs, 9K pin. And so I was looking at it and I was kind of like, even though this is what I would run over on NA, this would be effective over on EU because it's a tank meta over there. And if with no other buffs, I'm hitting 9K pen on this bow build and my Blast Bones has a 15K tooltip, and my bow ultimate has a 120K tooltip, I have to think that it's going to be just fine over there on EU.
Yeah, that's a
Okay.
big old tooltip.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I've had a couple people, I've posted builds and people say this build's not viable, and that's all they said. And this was probably a year ago. And I'm like, what do you mean it's not viable? But now looking back and understanding the different metas that are all happening at the same time, I could see that.
Well,
But
as you say
yeah,
that, I got a comment on a video, like, I don't know, last week maybe, that it was a build video from Morrowind. So right when the battlegrounds were introduced, like way back then, right? Build video from Morrowind, and this guy leaves a comment on it last week saying, "What an idiot I am that build is trash because it doesn't work in Blackwood."
holy cow, dude.
Okay.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah, I love smart
Dang.
people.
Yeah, you should have looked into your crystal ball and made a build that was going to be always
I don't know.
evolving.
Do you guys get stuff like that? Because I feel like I get that kind of weirdness like pretty often.
Yeah, yeah. I was doing that bugs series, like bugs, and just
Yeah.
posting the weird stuff that happens in ESO. And the battlegrounds, Icy will poke fun at me because he's like, I ain't ever fallen off those things, Icy will say that because he'll wait until his team goes and then he'll just kind of inch up and see if it's going to work or not. And if it doesn't, he'll go to a different portal. But I was preoccupied because I'm on the EU server running Battlegrounds, and a friend over there messages me and says, "Hey, I see you leveling a new sorcerer," and I was like, "Yeah, this might be my main if they ever fix the game." And as soon as I hit enter, the battleground starts, and I run forward, and the portal doesn't grab me, and I just run right off and to my death. I
I
die.
remember that clip.
Dude, that was so accidentally perfectly timed, dude. Oh
Right?
my
Yeah,
goodness.
yeah, yeah. And I just sat there for a second, and I was like, I couldn't have planned this any better. This is exactly what I'm talking about, and then I just logged out. Like, I'm out of here. And but anyways, I had a guy comment on my page. He's like, "This is user error. This isn't a bug. You're an idiot. You're trash." He literally called me trash and stuff like that. And so then I was like, "Are you telling me that this is not a bug?" And he said, "Everyone knows that most portals in the game require that you have to hit E to activate them."
Oh
And
god.
Oh my Christ.
So
and
so this person's never played a battleground then.
he's never played a battleground, or played on that map. Yeah. And so immediately, I'm just like, "Oh my God." And you
It's not
know,
even a portal, technically.
it's just like, I'm starting the battleground. Like, put me down on the battlefield, please,
Yeah,
without dying
yeah,
in
I mean,
one piece.
I don't mean to be like get them on a technicality, but that's just like a teleporting pad. It's not a
Right,
portal.
right, right. So it was nothing for me. It was a launch pad to my death.
Yeah.
More like a slip and slide because you
It
didn't
was-
even, you just kind of
yeah,
kept going.
yeah. So yeah, we get those weird things like that, and people just not know. And some people, are they real trolls, or are they just really just that dumb? Like, they just really don't know. They don't have a clue, and they just want to. The thing about it is, I don't think, if you don't know, why would you post a comment
Yeah,
about
right. So
something that you don't know?
so I'll make a deal with whoever's listening. I'll on every build video I make from now on, I'll put the that it's PCNA Blackwood or whatever update we're in. I'll put that on every video. As long as from now on you guys all look at the videos to see, was this posted 4 years ago?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, there's still a lot of people that'll watch those videos and they ask the question, like, they know it's an old video, obviously, so they ask the question, hey, does this still work?
Yeah.
And those are valid questions, good questions. But for like the weird people who are just like, this is trash, you're an idiot. Like, it's 4 years old, man. Move on.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeez. Um, you know, s- so obviously, while we're talking about that funny video where I ran off to my death, and then I did the Kratos video where you've got the poisoned and burning status effect for 49,000 days, and
Ooh,
uh,
nice.
yeah, did you see that video?
I
So
did, yeah, yeah.
yeah. Um, there's a lot of weird things, like not being able to break free and things like that, and those things, and gap closers not working. I saw Is There No One Else just posted something on it about, you can, there's a targeting issue with gap closers, a targeting issue with take flight, a targeting issue with like D-swing, hitbox problems. And this isn't all the time, but um, it's enough to be a serious problem, especially when they're your primary spammables and or major parts of your gameplay. Um, but I was just watching another content creator. His name's Gravedigger, and I think he's like Gravedigger 89 or something like that. I'm sorry for messing up your name, but Gravedigger, ESO content creator, and he had a video not too long ago that was requesting additional server locations. And so he was saying, he actually named specific places, and he said, as it stands right now, we've got the NA server and the EU server, but, there's a really far in between. And there's a lot of areas that it doesn't matter which server they play on, they're still going to be playing at a 400 ping or higher. So the game's growing in popularity. There should not be a shortage of money right now, right? So
Not even close.
yeah, so should they consider adding additional servers? And then I thought about it, what if they did add additional servers and then kind of split up the population a little bit more? Would that reduce the server stress? Would we not see some of the problems that we're seeing right now? Do you think is there a little bit of that, like the servers that we're on, or the population is busting at the seams, and then there's coding issues and things like that, but is it all just kind of compounding? I don't know.
I mean,
Uh,
I'm no server wizard here, but I know when this game came out, they made a big deal out of the fact that it was different than any other MMO out there because they have the mega server. So if you play something like WoW, Guild Wars, whatever, you have to pick the specific server that you want to play on. And if I'm on server 1 and my friend plays on server 2, we can't play together.
mhm.
But in ESO, as long as you tell it I'm in North America, you're good to go.
Yeah.
And the only thing I can think of would be that, like, over time, between either just the servers aging, the population growing, the game becoming more complex, it's hard for the mega server technology to keep up, because maybe what it's doing, they can't just have one giant server. There's got to be a bunch of different servers that split everyone up, which is kind of my guess as to why, if I go to Wayrest and you go to Wayrest, we can be in different versions of it. We can't see each other.
Yeah, we're instanced separately, and then we could be
Exactly.
standing right next to each other, and one of us will still have to travel to the other one just to
Exactly.
be in their instance.
Yeah, so that my guess to why that happens is that they do have separate servers, but then they have some kind of programming going on in the background that connects all of them together, so
Yeah.
that we can just travel and my character moves from point A to point B and we're good to go. So it could be that, the servers are aging, higher population, or that coding that they use to do that transfer, it just isn't as efficient as it should be.
Yeah.
I don't know. That may be completely wrong. I have no idea how the system actually works, but in my brain, that's what it looks like.
Yeah. I brought that up because now that I'm spending a lot of time playing on the EU server, and then I play on the NA server. So over on the NA server, we're going to have these problems where you can't break free more often than we'd like, or we're going to have the problems where you drop an ultimate and it does 0 damage. It's not, expended the ultimate but did no damage. You use a potion, it made the drink the potion sound. Your potion's on cooldown, but it didn't actually give you the resources for the potion. Or the hitbox issue. There's a lot of weird things. And that's with me playing on the NA server. When I've been playing on the EU server, I'm running into all that. Plus, I'm dealing with 400 latency. And I noticed that, man, it's really hard, obviously, but you have to experience it. It's very hard to actually play with 400 latency because
Oh yeah.
you're getting hit by things that you're like, I'm like 20 foot away from this guy, you know? Like,
Well,
why
yeah,
am I getting hit with the D swing?
you got to be able to predict the future a little bit, kind of
Right.
know like what's coming and when it's going to get there. And like I had a couple of friends that played for a few years, and they were in Australia, and there's no servers there, so they played on the NA server. And it just got to a point that he would get so frustrated because he would die all the time, because the best ping he could get, like you said, is in the 400s, and it's just not playable that way, so he ended up quitting.
Yeah. See, I bring this up because I never took this into account when I'm training PvPers. When a PvPer messages me on YouTube and they need help, they're tired of not doing well, they're, frustrated with whatever. One of my questions isn't, where do you live and, you're playing on the NA server, what's your ping, I've never asked that before, but having lived it now, it probably needs to be one of my questions because half of their heartache probably comes from just their location and what server they're playing on,
Yeah.
I thought that was
Well,
very interesting.
I don't know if they've changed this over the years, but I know when the game first came out, the servers were all on the East Coast. So even playing on the NA server, I would talk to people that I was playing with that would be on the East Coast, and they would all have their ping in the 20s, 30s. And because I'm on the West Coast, my ping is always around 100.
Mhm.
Dang, 10 to 20 sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sitting in game right now, looking at my ping, and it's fluctuating between 80 and 90.
Yeah.
Is the server in Texas?
I don't know. I know originally it was I think it was in Maryland at first. I don't know if they've added more or whatever, but hopefully we don't have to worry about it much longer because we've got all the new Microsoft stuff coming online soon, right? Didn't they say that was happening this year?
Bro,
new
I don't
servers?
know. I don't know how many times we're gonna say, "Hey, those Microsoft servers." It's been
I know, right?
it's been months, so I don't know when that's actually gonna happen. But I hope when it does happen, they make a nice little announcement saying, "Hey, we just made the migration over from A to B. Let us know." And then we're all
Right.
like, "Yep, no change."
I could be wrong, but I feel like I remember them saying something about Q3 this year.
Okay.
So probably starting around like September-ish is when stuff might start happening. But I'm just trying to remember something that I read a while ago, so I might be totally wrong. But
So zombie apocalypse scenario, or
Mhm.
apocalypse scenario, say the migration, they go through with that, something happens with the backup, and all data is lost. All characters, all everything. Do you keep playing? Do you pick it up and just create new characters and start from scratch? What would you do that?
If I lose everything that I've put 7 years into this game, and they tell me can't get it back, sorry, man. Um, I'm playing like Guild Wars or something.
Right. I mean, obviously that would never happen, I would imagine.
I would hope
I'm
not. I mean, I would think before they do the migration, they probably back up the backup.
Yeah.
honestly, I think I would. It depends. Well, okay, let's say this happened in September. If I lost everything, I mean, it's kind of like a new slate. I'm free. I can go, like we'll just pretend like I hate my family or something. I can go move to some other country, start a brand new life, and just start from scratch. I don't have to play ESO anymore. I can finally be free and play some other game. So, I mean, I would be all right with it. I'm not advocating, they do that, but
Yeah.
but it depends though. If there's no other games, I mean, maybe I'll just read some books.
Yeah. I'm always interested to see how many people go, "Oh, well, I'm just older and wiser now." Like if I knew, how people say if I knew then what I know now.
Mhm.
So in that scenario, how many people go, "Well, I know how to level quickly and I know how to power level all of my crafting and I know how to do all this stuff. I'll just get it all back, in a world
S-
record time."
See, that's the other thing, right? Because I know how to do all that stuff. So part of me is like, I could start a new life and be free of the game and just actually enjoy my personal life a little more. Or now that there's probably going to be way less people, the game probably is going to be running smooth.
Right.
Because it's like
So
it was like a accidental purge, right?
the Thanos snap.
Exactly.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, freaking Steve Rogers said it best. hey, I know we lost half the population, but freaking water's starting to see, water's cleaning up. I can see whales in the Hudson, hey, not gonna knock it, but he was kind of had a point there.
Now, would you be able to power level everything up without the use of guild stores? Because if that did happen, the guild stores would be empty.
To start,
Right.
Yeah, I mean, until people get back to that point where they've already leveled everything and made all their stuff and then start selling mats, like guild stores are going to be real scarce.
Yeah. I kind of want people to comment in the comment section on this, what they would do in this scenario. Like, would you actually, you're just like, hey, clean slate. I love the game. I'll go get my companion. We'll run around, kill all the world bosses, and it's whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So the question officially is, if there was an ESO purge and we all lost our accounts and everything, what would you do?
Yeah.
I think what I would do now, I'll change my answer. I would let Icy get in there and test the waters
What?
for me, and tell me if the game is running real nice and smooth. And then if it is, then I'll come back.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. Don't trust me on that, because even now, like, I know a lot of you guys I'll say y'all are vocal about the performance. I'm cool. I've been cool the whole time, but that's because you guys play DPS, so you have a different experience than me, because I play more support things. So my expectations are different from yours, that type of thing. So sorry, Sinful. You'd have to actually test
You're
it, or
ruining
like
the
Grim
dream.
test it. Hey, I'm just trying to be realistic, bro. All right.
Yeah.
But
That's what I think.
but continuing on with this crazy theoretical purge Thanos snap that might happen. I mean, I know a friend of ours in one of my other discords. She her account was purged, for various reasons, whatever. But she made a new account, dude. She was back to 810 CP within a week, and that was without an XP event. So I could see people easily grinding back up to crazy levels, within no time. Because training gear is one thing, and once you know about the Sky Reach and normal Black Rose Prison, you're kind of good if you want those levels. So
Yeah. Hey, let's flip the script. What if you guys work for ZOS, okay? And neither one of you are necessarily the person that failed to back up, or do whatever, okay? But you guys are responsible for making it right or fixing it. You have no files, you have no nothing. You can't prove that anyone had whatever level character in this gear or that gear or whatever. What do you do? Do you give everybody like 20,000 crown and call it a day? Like, what what do you do to try and appease?
dude, so that's a crazy freaking question, because if this happened, I'm pretty sure me and Simple would have to resign. Okay.
You're the
Because
guys they hired. They already let go the
oh,
people
okay,
that
we're here to
yeah.
like kind of fix the situation.
Yeah, you're supposed to
Oh,
be the
okay,
fixers.
because I
Yeah.
was gonna start out with, hey man, it was bring your dog to work day. They just brought us back from the virus and everything, and Sinful's dog just took a whiz on the server on the power cable, and we haven't been able to recover since. So,
Yeah.
oh man, do you have any
I know
ideas,
what
Sinful? I can think about it.
I know what I would like to see done if I were the player in that situation. I would say just make everyone's character like a PTS character.
Oh yeah.
What does it hurt to just give everybody all the gear? Make them go craft if they need to, but and maybe leave trial gear out. But like all the dungeon sets and all that, just give it to them. Who cares?
Yeah, that is a good point, because with the purge happening, everybody's got nothing. So are we expected to just regrind everything, or you know what? It's open season. Freaking do whatever you want, loot, pillage, and here's everything.
Yeah,
But
I
then
mean
at
you're
that
not.
point, what are we even doing with the game anymore? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? because I guess this is an effort now to, hey, we just had a massive mess up here, and what are we gonna do for everybody? Because this is ridiculous. So, and then the other thing is like, does the game now just become, hey, it's just one gigantic sandbox now? Go crazy. We're gonna let this run for a couple more years, and then we'll shut down the server for good.
Hey, maybe if they give out all the gear like that, like you said, that what are the PvEers gonna do? So they all
Yeah.
leave, and then all that's left is the people who want to fight.
Right.
Yeah, because if we have everything, there's no incentive to do anything except for
yeah.
PvP.
So the purge really does make the world a better place.
Yeah. That's funny. Oh, geez. I just figured that would be a funny question to see what you guys did do. I'm interested to see what people say if I worked for ZOS and the purge accidentally happened. I would do what, and then flip the script. If you were on the other side, would you?
I'm not laughing. I'm just scared and nervous. Like, geez, like what actually happened? This is actually kind of freaking me out, man. Because like you can't PvE, you're just PvPing the whole time, which is totally fine because I've kind of been doing that, for the last year and stuff. But I'm just trying to get more into PvE now. But man, that is actually crazy. There's no incentive to PvE anymore because you have everything. So what the heck are we even doing?
Well, you still got to push trials and the
For what?
arenas and
Oh, I guess if you want the gear or something, but then I guess the whole structure of the game would change because now you're just trying to score push. They'd have to introduce MMR so people can climb and stuff, and yeah, the whole structure of the game would change, I think. Now that we're talking more about this, yeah. It'd be more
So
about score pushing, more of a competitive edge to it now.
here's another apocalyptic something.
Oh.
I don't remember which expansion it was for World of Warcraft, but I remember I had a really strong blood DK over there, Death Knight over there, and my blood DK was like virtually unkillable. And I remember that during this expansion, every major home city was under attack and the world was being sundered. Like there were level 80 raid boss type creatures attacking the cities, and there's like a home district or home area that basically you go and you can log out in that area if you wanted to, like at your home or whatever. But anyways, if you were in the cities, you were fighting and getting killed by these things. And so I kind of thought about that same scenario, and it really brought the population, no matter which like alliance you were on, it brought the population together to fight for us survival. What if they introduced something like that to Cyrodiil, where I don't know what it would be, if it would be the Oblivion gates, maybe they just open up in masses, or there's literally the Oblivion gates open up and they're going to take the white gold tower. They're going to take the throne.
yeah,
supposedly.
it'd be kind of cool because like okay, so right now with Blackwood, we're kind of in that era where, um, the I'm spacing on the guy's name here, the Daedric Prince, whatever that he's
Oh,
trying.
Mehrunes Dagon?
Mehrunes, yeah. He's trying to take over by sending these Oblivion portals out, right? It's kind of like what happened in the game Oblivion, and the game Oblivion took place in Cyrodiil. So what if they combine those, and do like what you were saying, Grim, where these portals start opening and these Daedric mobs start coming out, and they'll attack keeps. So if AD is holding the Emperor keeps and they're fighting in one area, these portals will open up in a different area and steal the keep away if they don't go get rid of it.
Yeah. Think about this. I see. Have you gone and actually soloed resource like a mine or
I've tried. Usually the lag stops me.
right. That's
I
another
mean,
thing too.
yeah, same with Sinful. Usually the idea of queuing in the Cyrodiil stops me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So let's assume that Cyrodiil's running flawlessly for this, obviously, because I don't think you want to implement this. But so going and trying to solo a resource can be something. It could be tricky sometimes depending on what you're running at. Some people can do it on their overpowered class, their build, whatever, in their sleep. They can just jump into the resource and be reading their viewer texts while they, chat box while they're killing the mobs or whatever. But for a lot of people, it's very tricky to clear a resource. And I just think, well, that power level of those guards, what if you were to do like 50-man squads of those, which are the Daedric, coming out of portals? And like, if you're a solo player in the wrong place at the wrong time and you run into that, clearing a resource with 5 or 6 on it is a challenge. What's going to happen when you run into a 50-man group? So thought that might be kind of interesting, those different battlefields opening
Yeah,
up
man.
on.
I feel
Yeah,
like
that
it
would
could
be
be
cool to see.
like a dolmen, except with no restrictions on it. You're
Right.
just constantly pouring out Daedra the whole time.
Yeah. And I think varying levels too, like they always save at the dolmens, the very last is the little mini boss or the whatever. I think you randomly should have those guys coming out. Think back to the cutscenes for ESO, the very first like 3 or 4 cutscenes when Manamarco is opening the Daedric portals and the smoke is coming in, and the heroes are looking at each other. They were previously fighting each other, but now and then, one evil necromancer steps forward and bangs his staff on the ground, and the smoke clears, and there's a full army in front of him with a bunch of random level mobs and sized creatures, and I was like, oh, damn, it's about to get crazy, Now all of a sudden, the 3 heroes that were fighting each other realize, yeah, we're probably going to need to group up on this. And so I thought that might be kind of an interesting apocalyptic something to Cyrodiil, especially if you're going to reshape Cyrodiil at all. It gives you an opportunity to reshape the the landscape too.
Man, I really hope at some point that they redo Cyrodiil. Like Cyrodiil and Imperial City, I guess. Imperial City, I just want to see them make it useful again. But Cyrodiil is like everybody going out there and their big zergs. All they care about is taking keeps. There's really not a whole lot out there for smaller groups or solo or duo kind of players.
Yeah.
I would really love to see them kind of revamp the whole system of the Emperor and how you get it so that there's more of a focus on other things besides just that inner ring of keeps.
Yeah. You know what? I was just thinking, you know what the answer to that is? And it's been here all along. The inner keeps in Cyrodiil should not be capturing the throne. Taking the districts in Imperial City should be capturing the throne. But a prerequisite to that is owning the inner circle in Cyrodiil. So you need to own the inner circle in Cyrodiil, but then you need to port your group into Imperial City and then take the districts, and then there's a fight, one more fight for the actual throne. That's how it
Yeah.
should be. What?
Well, you
Why?
remember... Oh, go ahead.
Why capturing the inner keeps in Cyrodiil equates to Emperor? It shouldn't, right? Capturing Imperial City should, and the throne itself.
Yeah, man, and like you remember back when Imperial City first released, you couldn't queue into it. You had to go into Cyrodiil and run to the gate to get into the sewer.
Yeah.
And like people used to camp the gate to kill you so you couldn't get in, and
Yeah.
that was such a way better system.
Yeah. That's where I met King Richard the first time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that would be the change for sure that I would do is you got to make both of them work together. And if you want to be emperor, there's no reason you shouldn't have some type of interaction with Imperial City. You should not be crowned emperor unless you're doing something in Imperial City.
So you
Right.
think like say you have a 12-man squad and then you capture each keep that you capture around like the inner circle there, you get like a buff, right? Kind of like how in the Unhallowed Grave dungeon you pull that totem or something after each boss so you can unlock like the secret thing or whatever. So you get like a buff every time you capture one of those keeps, and then once you get all buffs for your whole group, then it's like okay, you are now eligible to become emperor. And then now with everyone having that buff, which is say becomes active for we'll say 2 to 4 hours, whatever, 2 3 hours, then you go to Imperial City, and now you have 2 3 hours to try to cap everything all together.
There's
Something.
that, or think about this, Icy. You said it earlier. You hate like once you found out, the Game of Thrones, and how some of the factions are working with the opposite faction, flipping
That dude,
keeps and
that's perfect. The Game of Thrones, yes.
yes, you know what I mean? When you found out front loading your AP quests and I don't even have to mess with the inner keeps. We're just gonna flip resources until I'm up in AP, and then I'm gonna my buddies are on a different faction, and we're gonna not even repair the front doors and let them just run in and take it after, and as soon as I get imp, then we'll let them get imp. And there's all this crazy type of stuff going on. I think that the system needs to be switched up. There needs to be a new something implemented. What I would do is this: a single 12-man group could potentially somebody's going to be emperor, but it's going to require them to take the inner keeps in Cyrodiil and then turn around and go into Imperial City, take all the districts, and then do one last fight. And it requires that they own all of them, because at this point in time, people know how to play the game and know how to play the system, right? So we need to complicate the system a little bit more.
Or
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
simplify it, or simplify it even further. Just get rid of Emperor. You don't need it. If you got rid of Emperor, you'd kind of weed out all the people who are there to not PvP and just turn it into more of a faction-based thing. Because one of the things that's missing in ESO that other good PvP games have had is the sense of like pride in your faction. You want the Daggerfall Covenant to win the campaign. So you've got like the 30-day campaign or whatever, and you hold keeps or whatever, and it gives you points toward winning the campaign. But you don't need to have an emperor, because that just promotes all these people doing all this cheesy stuff and not actually PvPing. And I don't know. I think there's a way that they could just get rid of emperor altogether and make PvP again.
Right. What's the total population that's going to get emperor anyways? It's probably such a small population with the people that, like, there's professional emperors, right? This is what they do. Every campaign rolls around and they're going to be leading the AP board and pushing for emp and controlling it the whole time,
Oh yeah.
so
Oh yeah. And there's really no need for it. I mean, I don't know. It's just one of those things that's kind of always bugged me, because, like you said, it's such a tiny population of people that will ever get Emperor, and yet it's the entire Cyrodiil experience.
yeah. Huh. I'm interested to see what everybody's thoughts are on that. It's so weird. There's such a big divide when you read the forums about Cyrodiil. There's so many people that defend Cyrodiil to the grave, right? They'll like, don't touch Cyrodiil. Cyrodiil's our only PvP. IC sucks. Battlegrounds are stupid. Cyrodiil's where it's at. And they're all the same people that drive over to Twitch and they're watching the streamers out in Cyrodiil, running around a tower, kiting a group of 5 people, trying and waiting until they have an ultimate and then trying to kill 1 or 2 of them. you know, it's like everybody thinks that that's the experience, that's the
Mm-hmm.
true Cyrodiil PvP experience. It's just so weird. And they'll fight and defend Cyrodiil, lag and all, And I even asked on one of my videos, I said, hey, what if we actually divided Cyrodiil up into 3 regions, kind of like the districts, but much larger than the districts, basically a line right down the middle of the map to Imperial City, and then go at a 45 off to the left and off to the right. So that way each faction has its own slice of the pie, and those are the regions. So obviously, if we're all on DC right now and we want to go take the keeps, in that one region, there's like the landscape has changed to where we got to go through this pass or whatever, and then you just like traveling through the large doors in the district. Now we're in this next region.
Yeah, they've already got the mile gates. You could just use those.
Yeah.
That's something that Zero and I have talked about a lot too. Is splitting up the Cyrodiil into those different areas like that. If for no other reason, just to disable zone chat, because I think zone chat in Cyrodiil has a much larger impact on not only poor performance but poor PvP experience, because the entire DC Zerg could be up on the north side of the map, and I'm down on the south side of the map trying to take some resources by myself. And let's say, like, Zero and I have done this before, where we see AD is pushing something, so we go down to a keep and try and take all the resources to cut it off.
Mm-hmm.
So now there's no more connection, those keeps don't count. But then one person in zone chat says, to DC trying to take this, and then everybody comes running, and now all of a sudden you've got this whole horde of people coming after you,
Mm-hmm.
who came from the opposite side of the world. It's like, come on, the zone chat thing is, it would be nice to have that cut off so that you could only zone chat with people who are in a smaller proximity to where you're at.
Yeah. Well, you see with the current bug, zone chat doesn't only pertain to same faction. You like on console right now? Yeah, on console right now, you could actually talk to your enemy. When you're talking in chat, they can hear you, and you can hear them. So there's some really funny scenarios, some videos out there with content creators. Like, I forgot who it was, but one content creator was fighting this other dude, knockdown drag out fight. He ends up killing the guy, and he's talking trash, and then he starts bagging him or whatever, and he's like, and the other guy is like, that's not cool, dude. And he's like, what? You can hear me? And he's like, yeah, dude, everyone can hear everyone right now. They could just talk to each other.
Oh, man, that's a whole new level of broke, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. So now it's not just, in zone chat. Now it's literally, you could be talking to Zero and there's a Nightblade hiding next to you, and you could be like, hey, let's go up to Cropsford and take that. And then that dude will just type in zone chat, 2 DC heading up to the Cropsford.
Yeah. Jeez, man. That's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah.
I've been playing since beta. I know you have too, Grim, but I love this game. There's so much potential behind it. But man, we got to get some fixes. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. We did an episode 8 months ago. Icy and I did, and we were talking about that, and I was crying. Fix your game. Don't give us anything new. Fix your game, And then I think between now and then, we actually had the year of performance. And look where we're at, gap closers are still not working, and now you can talk to your enemy.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, man, Zero and I tried to go out into Cyrodiil a couple weekends ago, and it was brutal, man. It was just like we went to a resource to just try and clear the resource and then hold it. That's one of the things we like to do is just pick a point on the map and like that's our spot. We're just going to hold that down as long as we can. And so we went to start clearing the resource. We couldn't kill the guards because we couldn't hit them. We couldn't get our skills to go off. It just nothing worked because the lag was so bad. And we went right back to IC and everything was good.
Yeah. I believe in honesty is the best policy. I really do. For me,
unless it's toxic.
well, there's difference between honesty and just being a dick, So, like, and if somebody's being a dick, then I'll be a dick back to them. But I do believe in just being honest, even if it's something that they don't necessarily want to hear. And why I say that is at the end of the day, if they can't fix the game, if they can't fix the servers, they literally have no clue what to do at this point. I would prefer that they just do a nice long post about it and just say, here's exactly what's going on, and there is no fix for it, so this is going to be the current state of the game, because I don't want false promises, I don't want the carrot dangled in front of me, that just tell me that this is it, it's not ever going to be better than this, and it will probably regress and become worse than this, and I think if they did that, I'm not going to jump ship if they posted that, me personally, because
Oh.
what makes me mad is the carrot. If they're going to dangle the carrot and say your performance and we're going to fix it and we're going to do this, and then here we are 8 months later and it's no better, that's what makes me mad. And so I don't know. Do you guys agree with that, or do you just think, optimism and always say, no, we'll get it taken care of, and just keep
I mean, I
backing
think
them in?
I think the fact that they are a business kind of lets us know that they'll never actually do that. But I do agree with you. I think if they were to just come out and say, we've been trying for 2 years to fix this problem, we have no idea what's causing it or how to fix it. So instead of dumping more resources into that, we're going to do this with those resources, whether that's creating more content or I don't know, adding things to Imperial City or more trials. I don't know what it is, but they take the focus from we're not going to fix PvP lag, we're going to do this now. I'm cool with that. Like you said, just tell me up front so that I know it's not going to change and I'm going to live in Imperial City now.
Right.
I think that logically, if they did make that statement, the next course of action for a normal person would be to stop playing, right?
Yeah.
But I guess kind of like a bad girlfriend or an ex-girlfriend, it's kind of hard to let them go, or to kick them to the curb or something like that. So I guess even if they did announce it, honestly, I think the best approach would be just to do a community poll, right, Grim? Just on your YouTube channel, just see, hey, or maybe even Deltia, because I know he gets a lot of interaction with his. Just pose the question, hey, if ESO admitted in a post that they're unable to fix this game and it's going to be, it is what it is, would you leave or keep playing? And then just kind of see what the numbers show. Because
Yeah.
I honestly, again, logically, it would make sense to leave at that point if you're really frustrated to just be gone. But if you really don't think performance is that bad from your own personal experience, then hey, I'm good. I'll keep playing. So
Yeah.
it might be worth just gauging the public and see.
Yeah. And you know what? I think it's probably such a small, the people, I see you PvP a lot, and you run into the issues that we run into far less than we do because of the role that you fill, right?
Yep.
But when you were on Senna just a couple nights ago. Do you remember like your gap closer, your shield assault wasn't working, and you're like,
Yeah,
this freaking sucks. Like
yeah,
this
because
sucks.
yeah, I had died, and then I respawned in the next district with everybody else, and then I dropped down, and I'm just trying to gap close to a regular Daedra, right? And it's not like I could push the ability. It was as if I was permanently silenced, and I
Hmm.
was just like, oh man, this is terrible. So then I go, and then I remember how to fix it, right? You just change zones, right? So I just went from Arboretum to Nobles or whatever, and then okay, I can gap close again. And then we got into more crazy fights, and throughout the whole fight, I'm, spamming my shield assault right in front of somebody, and she's just kind of chilling.
Yeah.
I'm not gap closing nowhere. And I think we were grouped up with a couple people, and I feel like the phrase of the day was not within range, right? Or target's
Yeah.
too far. And I'm just like, bro, I know how far this range is, and I'm within 5 feet of this guy.
Yeah. So
What is
now
going on?
let's do this because that was one ability. Let's say your action bar looks like this. Let's say you're a DPS two-hander, and let's say you're using a gap closer, you're using dizzy swing, and you're using an execute, right? And then you have vigor and rally. That's your offensive bar. Your gap closer stops working. Your D swing is giving you that out of range or cannot target that target or whatever. And your execute never, you can't execute anyone, right? Those three things are happening all simultaneously. How would your experience be then? Because this is a real scenario that happens to Papa and I all the time. you know?
And
Yeah,
then
no,
you're in
it
IC and you
sucks,
can't
man.
use doors.
Right. Yeah. What's your experience then? And it's like, how do I even play this game? I don't even know. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
because I know even from that little experience right there, because I normally play healer, so from a healing perspective, I'm fine. But on my Stam DK, because it's a little bit more aggressive type role, when I do have to be offensive, I can't do anything. And I'm just like, well, there goes half my kit, I guess.
Yeah. I ran into a guy in the sewers, Grimlock, and that happened. I actually just switched Witcher over to two-hander just to test it out, and I couldn't gap close or use D-swing. And it was like maybe 1 out of 10 gap closes worked and 1 out of 10 D-swings worked, and the rest of them were giving me that error. And of course, he sent me back to base. And then I was mad because I wanted to fight him. And I like Grimlock, by the way, but I wanted to fight him. So I go all the way back out there and I run into another dude, same thing happened, and I ended up dying to that guy. And Grimlock actually just stood off to the side and watched, and I'm like, dang it. like, and I'm very vocal about it. I'm mad. I'm like, this thing needs to work. And so then I run back out there again, expecting a different result. And I actually get the jump on Grimlock. The gap closer works, the first 2 or 3 D swings work, and then the rest of the time it was all that. I couldn't target him, couldn't do anything, so I'm just hopping around healing myself and trying to randomly switch my offense bar and turn the fight, and it's like, nope, nope, nope. And I was just like, whatever. I logged out. So,
Fun times.
yeah.
I know we we've kind of taken this in in sort of the negative direction here, but
Yeah.
um, I've played the game for a long time, and there are a lot of things like that that have happened over the years that have made me very like bitter. So anytime I see a new bug, I'm just like, oh god, not again.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I still love this damn game.
Yeah, me too. That's actually why we complain. It's because we like the game so much and we just simply want it to work. We just really, really like the game. We love the game and just want it to work. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was gonna
that's
say
the dream.
same time tomorrow, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll see you same time tomorrow. Well, so Your YouTube channel. Are you on Twitch currently? Are you streaming on YouTube? What are your plans for the future for your YouTube and everything?
For YouTube, I'm just gonna keep making videos. I'm trying my best, like, as I'm sure you guys know, and whoever's listening, I'm sure you guys also are aware, like, the biggest thing people want to go after on YouTube is build videos. And that's cool. I like a good build video as much as the next guy, but I'm trying to kind of get away from it. So I'm gonna post like the builds that I'm able to really like hammer down. Everything is perfect and it works great. You know, I'm gonna post those build videos, so there's gonna be a lot less builds. But I really want to get into more just entertainment, have some fun in the videos. You know, go out, do some PvP, talk with the viewers. You know, just just fun. But as far as streaming, I don't know if I'll do streaming anymore. I used to do a lot of streaming back in the day, and it was fun. But you know, I'm older now. I got the family. It's a much harder thing to do when you got a 5-year-old that's always trying to jump on your lap.
Right. Yeah.
So
That's one of the things that keeps me going though too, is my daughters really like the video. That here's the long and the short of it is I really enjoy the editing, the video editing part of it. Like
yeah,
I have 3 or 4 projects right now that I can't wait to do. Like really look forward to do because I want to have it in my deck, like
yeah.
because I like my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle one with MC Mikey and my daughters are singing it, and my Captain America. My daughter did a play at school. It was a talent show, and she actually dressed up as Captain America and sang that song. It was
Oh wow,
her decision to
nice.
do that. She loves it, and so there's a little bit of this bonding thing. I guess I'm making this, and my daughters just love watching them. Of course, I won't let them
Yeah,
watch
that's
the
cool, man.
Deadpool.
Yeah, maybe keep them away from the Mike Myers one. I don't know.
Yeah, we may or may not have another Michael Myers appearance this Halloween. So
Ooh,
I think,
nice.
yeah, looking
Dude,
at that.
that I laughed so hard at that video, man. That was so funny.
Uh,
But yeah, I'm in the same boat, man. Like I really enjoy the editing process. I like maybe I'm weird, but I like getting everything all set up on my desk with the mic and you know, getting the lighting going for my camera and doing all that stuff to like do the recording part of it. I love the editing. I really enjoy the whole process of it. But I don't know, it's so time consuming sometimes that it's hard to it's hard to stay super consistent when you've got the family and the full-time job and you're doing all that. So I try and post as much as I can, but I definitely am at the point where I have the ideas and I just need to I just need to log in and actually do them now.
Yeah, that's how I feel too, because I'd like to grow my channel, but at the same time, I just want to make, at this point, I just want to make as high quality a video as I can. So the quantity won't be there, but I just want the quality to be there. So I'll maybe put out a video once every 3 weeks or something like that, just to give me more
Yeah, man.
time to focus on it. Because even the last video I did, the werewolf one, took me maybe like 10 to 15 hours to put together, but I had a lot of fun
Mhm.
doing it.
Yeah,
yeah.
man. And I'm at the point where I don't know how many of your viewers actually know who I am or not, but I've I've had to rebuild my channel so many times at this point between, you know, taking a break and everybody unsubscribes or going from WoW to ESO and then everybody unsubscribes. So like I've gone from, you know, 0 to 10,000 subs 3 different times now. And I'm just kind of at the point where like I'm not worried about the sub count. I'm not worried about views. I'm just doing what I enjoy doing, and if people like watching that, then great. If not, no hard feelings.
Amen.
Right. I agree. How can people best help you out right now in growing the channel? And like, do you have a tip jar, Patreon? What would help you out the most?
I mean, there's a tip jar on the channel, but I'm not really too worried about that. The one of the things that I am getting into doing here, I'm actually in the middle of recording for one right now, but I've got a video series coming that I want to try and do, basically taking other people's builds that I see on YouTube, and maybe even some from like, in fact, I want to try and almost exclusively do it from channels that are smaller, people who are getting builds that are very like off meta, very different kind of things. Bring them onto my channel, set up the build, play it for a while so I can kind of practice with it a bit, and make a video talking about the build and is it good? Is it bad? What does it excel at? That kind of stuff, so that if you type in Magic Warden builds on YouTube, you get 1,000 videos, and 900 of them are the same stuff. So I'd like to put something together to kind of help people narrow that field a little bit and show them, if you're looking for light armor builds, here's one that I think was good, and here's one that I think you should stay away from.
That's awesome.
So if people want to help out, you can go through YouTube, leave comments on videos, or you can go through. You can find me on Discord here, even through Grim's Discord if you're part of that. But just send me links to videos of things that you think that are worth giving a shot and giving a shout out in some video like that.
That's awesome. What do you got, Icy?
I got 1 minute left.
Oh, okay. We're there then. We're at it.
Yeah, but yeah, if that's any last final words, Sinful?
No, man, just yeah, just watch the videos, have some fun with me, subscribe. Yeah, that's all I got, man. Thanks for having me on again, man. Appreciate it.
You got to say, I'll be back.
Yeah, and don't worry, everybody, because I'll be back.
Nice. All right, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.
See ya.
You're going to say, bye-bye, Argonians.
Bye bye, Rogonian.